Hello my friends, welcome back to Dark Matter Crafts. Today we've got a really special video, something I really enjoyed making and I know you're gonna like it. Check this out. This is a project that came from the dollar store. Yeah, another one of those little houses, little bird feeders that you find that is so simple. There's just a wealth of possibilities that you can do with these sorts of houses that I really enjoy them. So this here is a small castle tower. It's been weathered, it's been dilapidated. You could really tell that this has been in the elements for quite some time. But this project is really fun to make, guys. I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm gonna show you a couple of new techniques, some new medium that I used, and I'll give my thoughts on that medium. Guys, let's go to the video. I'll show you how I did this. All right, friends, here we go. So this is the little birdhouse from the dollar store that I got. Got this a fair while ago, but didn't really have any ideas of what I was gonna use it for. It was unique, that's why I got it. So it was in my closet for a while and then inspiration struck and finally decided what I wanted to do with it. So first things first, I painted it black. This is something I don't know if I've ever done before, but it has saved my butt because my goodness, trying to get black paint into little crevices when project's half done is difficult. So anyway, moving on. This is the new medium that I used this time around. This is foam clay from, I believe it's pronounced Kalpami. Anyway, we got this from Amazon and this stuff was, to say the least, interesting to use. As you can see here, this stuff was almost like a slime. It was very elasticy, almost like bubble gum as well. It was interesting to work with. It was very light, very airy, very easy to mold. So I knew I wanted to make the walls on this project out of brickwork. And there's my wife making a cameo, just checking out how it felt because I was the first one to use it. So I just started rolling this out on my cutting mat. This was not the best idea. I didn't know it at the time. But this stuff stuck to the mat unbelievably well. I had quite the time trying to get it off. It did not work out well. So my wife gave me the idea to use a little bit of cornstarch, use that on the surfaces, and it worked very well. I did do something similar like that with air dry clay before, but this is nothing like air dry clay. This stuff is almost like an adhesive. It's very sticky. So anyway, after I pried this up off the mat, used some cornstarch and rolled it out, and it worked a lot better. So this is my brick/stone roller. So I wanted to use this on all of this project because this style of roller that I have is really cool. I like this one a lot. So as you can see here, it was sticking a little bit even though I'd used the cornstarch, but it wasn't as bad. Moving more toward the middle of the roll of clay, it actually worked all right. So once that was rolled out, I got some good old tacky glue and spread that all around. And this was going to be glued onto the tower. Did not want to use hot glue. I just figured this might be a little bit difficult, so use tacky glue, which should be good enough. And difficult was an understatement. I don't know how long it took for me to put this foam clay on this part here. I would say at least 10 minutes of trying to get it straight. When you start pulling it, this stuff is so elasticy, but also not at the same time, that you're stretching the bricks, so the bricks are being distorted, and it was quite difficult. This is going to take some time to get used to, some time to really become good at it. So again, there you go. This stuff just stick to everything. Oh man. So anyway, I cut the place where I wanted the brickwork to join up. And yeah, as you can see, more strings of glue there. So cut it up, and then I used some tin foil, as you know you would normally do to get some more stone texture. Well, this didn't really work at all on this stuff. It bounced back. It didn't really indent much at all. So that was kind of a waste of time, but anyways, so then I had to move on, and I used a pencil to touch up the brickwork where it was stretched a little and the seams of where I cut it together. And that was okay, that worked pretty well. So that was finally done, and then I moved on to a little bit of stonework around the window here. And this is just some foam I had lying around, cut it up into small bricks, and just started gluing it to the window there. Now the next step here, I'm gonna use stucco on this project, but I wanted there to be a couple of places where the stucco was cracked away and you saw the underlying wood under the stucco. So that's what I was doing there. And then I moved on and I started building the front part of the tower. So this is kind of like the little house entrance part. Just a little bit of foam board, 3 pieces, glued that up real simple, hot glue, and then just affixed it to the tower itself. This, I gotta say though, as far as this foam goes, hot glue sticks to this foam very well. So that was kind of a little bit of a bonus. So then I moved on to do a little bit more foam. Now this portion here, I found that I pressed harder on my roller, got a better look to this here. So there's a little bit of a difference between the two pieces of foam. But just glued this down the same way with some tacky glue and lightly patted it down. There was a few air bubbles, got those out, and it looked pretty good. So then I just trimmed off the top, the excess on the top, and away we go. And here's some XPS foam. Cut up a bunch of these. Now these are going to be the timbers for the tower. Used my tweezers and just started to scratch away at them to give them that wood look. And then here I am gluing them onto the tower and then just roughing up the edges to make it look like it's been weathered. So here's now the vertical supports, and this is all the same foam, this is all the same stuff, you know, just with the wood grain look. And just glued 4 pieces of these on there, and I thought that looked really cool. Now this is the moment where I started getting excited about the project, and then added a few more support pieces, wood, on all the beams there, and that looked really good. I was really happy. So then I decided to mix up some stucco, and I started to stucco the project.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Yeah, I had started it and I had done a fair amount of it and realized I need to Mod Podge this whole thing. So I had to let that dry, and then I had to go back, Mod Podge the whole thing, and it was good. And then here you can see me using some hot glue in a mold. So I guess I hot glued hot glue with hot glue onto my project. All right. Here were some just garbage pieces of XPS foam. Cut them really thin. These are going to be the shingles. So cut them thin, cut them up like this. Then I started the tedious task of gluing these on to the project. Now I know that you can do full length pieces for shingles. I've done it in the past, but just I didn't feel like this was going to be a good project for those types of shingles. So I wanted to do individual shingles. Took a heck of a long time, but I do like it better. And here's the cone that I just glued up just out of some, you know, cardboard paper here. This cone is going to go over top of the tower just to give it more of a peak roof sort of look. So cut that out, glued it on there. Then after that was done, now I'm ready to go back for the stucco. And this was difficult. I had used a mixture of paint, Mod Podge, and baking soda. And it gave a really good texture, but it was kind of hard to work with, so this took quite a bit of time. And I also, as you noticed, changed the color to purple, which I am so happy I did, because that looks just so much better in my eyes. I love the purple look on this. So going back now here, I'm painting the stone a gray color. This is just going to be the base for all the stonework, get it nice and gray, and then I'm going to go back and do different things to it. The shingles, this was just a cinnamon brown color. I knew that I was going to cover this up anyway with different shades, different dry brushes, so it was just cinnamon brown. Again, here's the beams that there was some fine detail work here having to paint these, and this took a long time as well, but that was cinnamon brown as well. Wanted to kind of keep it all cohesive. And this took a long time, but man, I was really impressed. It looked really, really good how these beams came out. I was quite happy. And didn't have a lot of work with that stucco on the beams, so I was actually quite fortunate. Okay, now we're on to dry brushing. So this is just a kind of a cream color dry brush, and in the video here it shows up very, very bright, and it's not actually that bright. But did some dry brushing on the stonework. These are oil washes I'm using for the purple part there, and it's looking really, really good right now. And then I took some mica powder paints and did some random bricks just to give it a little bit of a color pop. Final black wash all over the whole thing, and that was it. There you go, guys. Thanks so much for watching.